Well, hello everybody. So, night number 2 at the Hollywood Bowl now, and now this was my kind of show. I know we're all going to have things we prefer. Some people may have liked last night. This one here is probably going to go down as my favorite of the entire run for the spring now. All right, so let's just get to it here. There's going to be some things to say, many highlights throughout. Some unexpected highlights, some unexpected songs. The Runaway Gym opener wasn't unexpected for Spud nailing that one, thanks to everybody that's been playing along with the picks. I know Spud hit that. Sorry if I'm forgetting anybody else here. And so before we get to the encore, we'll stay up here at the top with the Runaway Gym opener. Obviously a classic way to open a show. I don't think many people would groan and complain about that. Any eye rolls tonight led to big things. So that even the Blaze On right here coming out in the 2-hole right after Runaway Gym. Well, it was a strong Blaze On, Trey, no need to warm up really. He seemed ready to go early here on the Blaze On. And that combo with Blaze On and Martian Monster working real good. Birds of a feather after that. So, not a whole lot of things to complain about so far. The Martian Monster, while I wish, I know they played, I think maybe my favorite one, other than the debut at the Chilling Thrilling show. I think they played one at the Forum, maybe that following year or something. It was still maybe my favorite. Tonight's though very cool. I don't know what it is about that part of the country makes them want to bust out Martian Monster. Not quite a bust out. Is it a bust out at this point? Okay, so Birds of a Feather, not really a bust out, but welcome. The first time we're getting it this spring, and maybe not the burner of the set or anything. 555 coming after that. Mike's one of my preferred Mike song. Nice to see that it's still around. Now we're starting to heat up. It's time for Divided Sky. The crowd calming down. Appropriately quiet for the pause in Divided Sky. One we don't get a whole lot of anymore, and a real nice Divided Sky. That part post pause too. That's the part that I am really here for. Trey not letting us down tonight. And then look, perhaps my first eye roll of the night here for Ether Edge. And then, like I was saying, that was the one, if you were rolling your eyes, this was perhaps the highlight of the first set, Ether Edge. I think there may have been another one or two in there of this one that's not bad. Almost seemed like hopefully it was drifting away a little bit. Coming back strong. And everybody really in on that one. Just like it wasn't just, oh, did you hear Trey? No, we certainly heard Trey. We heard from Trey early and often. Hearing a lot from Paige McConnell here to end the set, Professor No Hair going, that's one of my favorite ends to a set. The Squirming Coil, just Paige out there. Didn't give us the stick around, but we'll take it. So that's it. It was a fine first set, and they were not done over here. Oftentimes the main event, the second set, maybe not the spring run though. A lot of times, oftentimes this first set, it's up here. Well, not tonight. AC/DC Bag coming out. Many songs again tonight. A few repeats, but many first timers for the spring. AC/DC Bag, Life Saving Gun being a couple. Howling, another one. Oblivion. So, and this was another one of these times where they just kept heating up. The AC/DC Bag, kind of like the Gym, just a great way to open a set. It wasn't anything extraordinary, but very good. Then Life Saving Gun, maybe it needs a couple of runs. It didn't feel like maybe, it had that sort of Page EDM sound to it, but not fully. Maybe they're starting to back off of that a little bit. It seemed like, from New Year's even into Mexico, I believe, they were really leaning into it, but not necessarily the case. Then the Howling started to dabble in the funk a little bit in the Howling. Otherwise, still a really strong one. Wish they'd have gone a little heavier. We're starting to fade here. We've gotten through a lot of shows with this mega Sharpie here. These things are hit and miss. This one has certainly been a hit, Lots of that out of this Sharpie. And the Howling, surprisingly, normally it's just kind of a fun song. I wouldn't say it's usually going to be the highlight of a set. Oblivion, we've kind of been wondering where it is. It shows up big. So really, this whole part here, we're going strong. And then for me, the Antelope, this kind of jam right in the middle had this whole Fuego thing going on. And even where it's placed, the start of the home stretch instead of down here, as we're wrapping things up. Now Sea of Stars, maybe, if I could even have one complaint, it would have been like, look, it's late, we're getting tired over here in this time zone. Sea of Stars, I'm a fan of it, but tonight I could have done otherwise. Everything's right now. I thought, oh no, they can't lose me now. Things were going so well, and then similar to Ether Edge, everything's right. And I was like, okay, this is kind of a nice kind of a chill jam here, kind of one of the better chill jams of the evening and throughout this last few shows. But then it did not stay chill for long. Trey just taking it up and up and up, and hits this big peak, gets everything going, and boom, ended that. It's perfect that they ended the set there. They didn't have to. They had time for another, as you see. I don't know if this was the plan or not, but hopefully no, man. Hopefully they just went with the old feeling in the taint and we're like, let's call it a set. Come back strong, and then now, if Spud hit the opener, I hit the Encore here, Taste, and didn't do very well on my picks again, just Antelope, 1 out of 5. You know, so I won't pat myself on the back for that, but I will certainly pat myself on the back for a Taste. And, you know, many times Taste is coming through. This one was no dud, although being in the Encore, they had a couple more to come. Perhaps Taste could have gotten a little more there. You know, I believe if I quick glance at .net, only the 4th time in the history it's encored, and the first since 2000. Congratulations, F Zappa 20 on the call. All right, so enough about me. More about the Phish. And I'm now, so okay, they follow that up with About to Run, the Ghost of the Forest regular. Suppose it's still a regular. That's my favorite, like, hard rock, kind of modern hard rock song they got, About to Run. And then they follow that up with perhaps the most lovely song they have. It's not night 3, but Slave to the Traffic Light will do anytime. Again, similar to the Taste. I hate to see two greats kind of being jammed there with not a lot of room, not a lot of flexibility, but all right. I'm not going to complain. That may have been my favorite show of the 7 so far. Seattle Night 1 was strong. I mean, you know, whoo, look at all that. That's with a fading marker. I'd have to, but I got another one. Don't worry. Even though it's one show left, I think that one's out. It's out. All right. Congratulations to the Phish. Woo. Oh, yeah. So, congrats to everybody that was at the show. I know President Lesh, big fan of the channel. Floopy Goober, who was his debut show last night, there again tonight. Oh, and check this out. I get a text from a friend. I've done some shows with these people, going all the way back to the Chilling Thrilling night. Martian Monster getting down. Get a text that was like, hey, can you give me and Mark and Christian and Amy a shout out? And I was like, Jesus, Amanda, anybody else on the list that could get a shout out? But they are big fans. Always got nice things to say about me and how great the recaps are, how handsome I am, funny I am. So I figure all that deserves a shout out at this point. So, what a show. Boom, we are out of here.